Have you ever wondered what secrets a single piece of jewelry could hold? This ain't no pawn shop, sweetheart. We don't trade scrap for sympathy. The saleswoman snapped, not even lifting her eyes from her nails as Mia stepped up to the counter, baby carrier in one hand, a small time-worn necklace in the other. Mia froze, the insult slicing deep. Her breath hitched, but she held her ground. She'd swallowed worse. She'd survived worse. I'm not asking for sympathy, Maya said, her voice steady. Just a little money, enough to buy formula. The saleswoman huffed. Fine, let's see the heirloom. Maya unfolded her fingers, revealing a delicate gold chain with a single opal pendant. It wasn't flashy, but it shimmered in the light. Soft, old, and full of ghosts. The woman barely looked at it. $20 tops might get you a bottle and a half. From behind the velvet-lined display cases, a deep voice cut in. Let me see it. David Sterling stepped forward, immaculate in a navy blue suit with silver streaking his temples and a calm intensity behind his eyes. He exuded presence. The saleswoman immediately backed off, mumbling an apology and retreating to the register. David extended his hand. Maya hesitated, then placed the necklace in his palm. It was my mother's, she said quietly. Her name was Monica Williams. David's fingers trembled. The moment stretched long and strange as he turned the pendant over and caught sight of the engraving at the clasp. A tiny letter S intertwined with a rose. His breath caught in his throat. I know this piece, he whispered. Maya furrowed her brows. What? This necklace, he said, glancing up slowly, was custom made in this store over 30 years ago for a woman I loved. Her name was Monica. The air thinned between them. Maya blinked. You knew her? David sat down, the necklace resting between his hands like something sacred. His voice dropped. Hoarse. She worked for my family when I was barely 20. We kept it secret. My mother, she wouldn't accept a black woman in our world. She humiliated her, called her names I still hear in my nightmares. Maya's pulse pounded in her ears. Her hands clenched the strap of her son's carrier. I asked her to leave with me, David said, tears glassing his eyes. She wouldn't. She said she wouldn't survive being hated by both sides. Then one day, she disappeared. No note, no goodbye. Maya's voice broke. She was pregnant with me. David's mouth parted. A silent gasp. A lifetime collapsing in a single truth. I didn't know. I grew up in a basement apartment in Flatbush. Maya continued. She worked nights, cleaned offices, got sick when I was 14, passed when I was 16. We scraped by. She never mentioned your name, just said some doors are meant to stay closed. David sat back, the weight of his guilt visible in every line of his face. I searched for years. I hired private investigators. Nothing. I stayed here, kept this store open, hoping, praying that one day I'd see her or her child. A heavy silence fell. Then with trembling hands he reached for the chain around his own neck and removed it, a twin to Maya's but larger, older. He held it out to her. She gave me this. He said, voice cracking, the night before she left. I've worn it every day since. Mia's fingers brushed the metal, cool with sorrow. She looked into his face, so familiar yet foreign. Her eyes welled with tears. Why didn't you come for us? She whispered. Why did you let her suffer alone? David's voice cracked. I tried. God knows I tried. And when I failed, I stayed here hoping, waiting. I never married. I couldn't. There was no one else. I built this life around a hope that someday. His words broke off in a quiet sob. I was too late. If Maya and David's journey moved you, he'd like to let BUP Stories know you felt it, too. And don't forget to comment the city or place you're watching from. Who knows? Someone nearby might be watching this with you. Maya's tears spilled, warm and sudden. Years of longing, resentment, hunger, and love too long buried surged inside her. She wanted to hate him, but she couldn't. Not when his regret was so raw it soaked the floor between them. David stood slowly, then lowered himself to his knees beside her chair, a gesture of humility that struck her like lightning. I know I don't deserve forgiveness, but if you'll let me, I want to be part of your life. I want to know my grandson, and I want to give you both a home. Mia stared at him, heart pounding. Micah stirred in his sleep beside her, tiny lips twitching. I don't know what to do, she whispered. Everything feels too much. David nodded. Then let's start with what we know. That you're not alone anymore. And that your mother, brave as she was, gave us both a chance we almost lost. He reached up and gently placed the twin necklace into her palm. Come home. If not today, then when you're ready. And as Maya looked down at the two pendants, hers and his, she realized this was no longer just about a necklace. It was about a legacy, a reckoning, and perhaps a second chance neither of them ever believed would come. The wind outside the store whipped through Mia's coat as she stepped onto the busy sidewalk. Micah asleep against her chest. The necklace, both of them now, rested in her coat pocket, cold and heavy, like anchors to two separate worlds. Her feet moved, but her mind spun in circles. The last hour had shaken the foundation of everything she knew. Her fingers brushed the gold pendants, and her throat tightened. She could still see the way David had knelt before her, offering not just metal, but a piece of himself, a stranger, her father, and somehow not a stranger at all. She turned the corner and entered the corner store, the bell above the door jingling softly. It smelled of floor polish and old bread. The clerk, an older man, who always looked half asleep, glanced up, but said nothing. Maya picked up a can of formula and a loaf of bread. Her fingers trembled as she reached into her wallet and counted out the last few crumpled bills she had left. As she paid, her thoughts flickered to David's face. The remorse, the tears, his confession about his mother's cruelty, his years of searching, the life of waiting he had chosen. Outside again, she stood on the corner, unsure of where to go, back to the cramped apartment she rented by the week, to the friend's couch where she sometimes slept when rent ran out, or back to him. The thought scared her more than it should have. That evening, as the city lights began to flicker on, Ma sat on a worn sofa in her tiny living room, Micah in her lap. She looked down at his face, peaceful in sleep, and felt her chest tighten. What do I even say to him, huh? She whispered to the baby. Hey, surprise. I'm the daughter you never knew you had. And oh, by the way, your grandson spits up like a fire hydrant. Micah shifted, a little gurgle rising in his throat. Maya smiled sadly. I wish Mom was here. She'd know what to do. She thought about her mother's laughter, soft and tired. The way she used to hum while folding laundry. The way her eyes would glaze over when Maya asked about her father. He wasn't bad, she'd always say. Just not meant to stay. Now Maya understood why. Her phone buzzed. A text. Unknown number. If you need anything, this is my number. She stared at the screen. Her thumb hovered over the keyboard, but she didn't reply. The next morning brought rain, light and constant, tapping against the windows like questions she didn't want to answer. She bundled Micah into a jacket 2 sizes too big, and walked to the community center. She was scheduled to meet with a counselor about housing assistance, but all she could think about was David's voice, the regret in it, the invitation. After the appointment, more paperwork, more waiting lists. She found herself standing across the street from Sterling and Sons. She hadn't meant to come here. Her feet had simply brought her. The storefront glowed warm against the gray sky. She hesitated, then crossed the street and stepped inside. David was there, speaking with a customer. When he saw her, his expression shifted, surprise, then something deeper. Relief. He excused himself and approached. I didn't expect to see you so soon, he said gently. I didn't either, Maya replied. But I couldn't stop thinking about what you said. He nodded. I've been thinking about you, too. She glanced around the room, then back at him. Can we talk somewhere quieter? He gestured toward the back and together they entered his office again. That strange mix of comfort